So today is going to be a really special thing because we are doing live. At the same time, we are recording this video in front using a camera as well. And today, we're going to talk about making money or monetizing with programming and web development. All right. So now, Dr. Lau, recently you went on TV to talk about coding, and the whole entire country is heated about coding and learning Jabil, Java, right? So how was the whole experience on TV?
Okay, so basically during the interview, we talk about whether especially kids of primary 4, right, they should learn programming or not. Is it the right time to learn programming? Now I'm a living example of I started learning programming when I was primary 3. So I learned this programming language called Logo, and I started to draw something. So I think learning programming at the young age is not a bad thing. But today we're not going to talk about whether you should learn programming or not, or even what programming language that you should learn. But we're going to talk about something that parents and you yourself as a working adult care the most is the prospect, all right, whether you can make money or not and sustain yourself as a programmer.
Because I think, everybody at some point of time, when you learn web development, when you learn programming, you want to do something with it. And a lot of times that something is monetizing your skill, making full use of it, right? So let's go into the first way of monetizing or making money with web development. And that is something that I've done myself, you have done yourself, freelancing. All right, so freelancing is a way to make money with web development, and there's like tons of businesses, entrepreneurs, and also companies who needs talents like freelancers to help them with their web development projects and also applications. So what are your thoughts on freelancing?
So personally, I like freelancing because I love that sort of lifestyle, right? Freelancing, so I can manage my own time. But that aside, right, it actually helps me to sharpen my skills. Now, it also, in a way, it helped me to stay ahead of the game by learning what are the current developments in the industry. So I know what type of projects people are looking to build, and then I know the trend because I know what sort of skill sets people are looking to hire.
Right. So I understand when it comes to freelancing, right, we can find freelancing like jobs in local. So there's a lot of local businesses who are looking for, things like this. And besides local businesses, right, local jobs, where else can we find demand for freelance?
A lot. So there are websites like upworks.com and also freelancers.com. So those are people who actively hire for freelancers to help them to get small jobs done.
Right. So I just pasted in upwork.com so they can actually see that. So I personally tried sites like upwork.com and also freelancer.com and hired people from places like India, Russia. So I remember at one time I had this site, ordermethod.com, and the site got some database issue, corruption in the database, and I didn't know how to actually solve that issue, right? So I went on to Upwork, in fact, and post up a job, and within minutes I got someone, a she, who came all the way from Russia to help me on this job that I posted out. And within just 2 hours, she fixed that quick bug, that database bug. And I was like, whole night I can't fix it, but within 2 hours she fixed it.
Right? You do whatever it takes to help to revive your website, right?
Yeah, exactly. At that point,
so
I was also desperate. I need it done, and I would pay anything for it, right? And I think I paid her about $100 USD, right, for that job there. So when we talk about the rates in freelancing, what would you suggest, new freelancers to charge based on per project or based on per hour basis?
I will usually suggest them, right, for smaller jobs, like when you look at the jobs, you know that the scope is fixed, and then you know that you can really get it done and without any hassles, or there's no change of requirements. Then that's the time where you can go for per project. So basically a simple project like your one's like $100. But for those projects that you are not sure where's the boundary, you know that the scope is going to be changing, right? It's better to charge by per hours because it's going to incur a lot of hidden costs. Clients will call you in the middle of the night, and then you need to travel to the client side to do the demo and a lot of stuff. So better charge by hours.
So before we go to the second way of making money with web development or deep programming, now what's the danger when it comes to freelancing?
Now, freelancing, as I say, right, the number one, the good things is your freedom, but with freedom comes with your time management skills and, of course, managing the client's expectation. If you are not careful with managing the expectation, they'll be telling you like, hey, can you help me to change this button, and can you help me to shift this from left to right? Usually, I do very small things, right? you don't know how to charge, right?
Yeah,
Very small
yeah.
things like, can you edit a couple of paragraphs for me? Those are the things that will creeps into your projects.
Right. So I think the key is to set up expectations with your client as a freelancer upfront.
Yep.
Right. Upfront before you start a project, so you don't have any unexpected, misunderstanding with your client.
So be upfront and tell your clients that some of the things that you are going to be charging them, and those are the things that cost them money because it costs you time as well, right? So that there won't be any surprise elements at the end.
Right. Okay. So let's go into the second point of how you can make money as a web developer or programmer. And this is for people who maybe cannot freelance, right? They are not freelancers.
Yes.
They don't have maybe self-discipline, and they would have to work for a company.
Correct.
All right. So when it comes to working for a company, what do you think is the prospects of doing this?
Now, a majority of the companies in Malaysia, they're actually SMEs. Right? SMEs, they don't usually need to hire a full tech team, but from time to time, they do need people to help them. For example, to do a tech refresh, to help them to upgrade their websites or to create a website for the cafe or restaurants. So you hear this a lot. And they actually requires a lot of technical help from setting up the page, SEO, Google Analytics, and also even setting up the WordPress. So these are the projects that is more enough, but it could be a 3-month project, 6-month contract. So this suits people that if you don't really know how to become a freelancer, well, for reasons like you don't know how to structure projects, those are the actual time that you can work with a company, and then you learn all the different nitty-gritties that you need.
Right. So when it comes to working for a company, right?
Yeah.
So let's say I'm someone who knows web development and I want to join a company. Is it better, based on your advice, is it better to actually work for a company who is not a tech company, so I help them build up their tech infrastructure, help them build their website and all that? Or is it better to go into a company which is already a tech company and I become a cog in the whole machine?
Okay, so given that I'm somebody who likes to make decisions, who like to call shots, right? I usually choose to join a company that starts from scratch. Now, even if I join a tech company, I join as an architect. So I get to design everything from end to end because I feel I enjoy that sort of sense of achievement rather than going in and follow a set of instructions. But if you are a junior programmer where you just begin your career, right, you can actually join a tech driven company so that you learn how things works. And different types of systems and tools that people use, because for example Git, right, is a version Git or GitHub, a version control software. If you are not from a team environment, you usually don't have to use that sort of tools, and you will only be able to learn when you work in a relatively larger team environment.
So let's say if I want to find a company to work in, where do you suggest I start looking for?
Now, if you look for companies like, especially like smaller company SMEs, you can of course go to networking events like those business networking events, conferences where people talk about different industry, different business, and there are always people who are looking to hire tech people. Now, another option that a lot of people did not think of is you can also go to those entrepreneurs networking events to look for people who share the same vision, like-minded people, but they're looking for technical co-founders like startup entrepreneurs, right? So those are the events where you can find people like startup CEOs. They're looking for co-founders, tech co-founders, and you guys can work together. Who knows, you can be the next unicorn in the region, or you can build the next Facebook or Google.
I think that's very interesting. I mean, to look for a position or a job in the company, you actually have to go and network out there. So it's not always just being behind the computer screen and
Correct,
doing things. So you have to actually get out there and get lucky in a way.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to our third way of making money with web development, and that is?
You want to go to marketplace to sell your codes. Now, selling your codes is like Ruben said, right? If you are not somebody who likes to go to networking events and you are more of an introvert like my old self, then you can actually start from selling your plugins, your themes and code. Now, there are many marketplaces that you can sell your plugins. I believe that you have purchased a lot, right?
Yeah.
Code Canyon, Team Forest, Envato. So most of the sites they are written using, so they're selling scripts, right? They are written using HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and also PHP. So some of the mainstream programming languages.
Okay, so this is the interesting bit of marketplaces. Now, before I actually went into the tech industry, back then I was a musician, as you know, right? So I first knew Envato. Code Canyon is under Envato. It's a marketplace company with all these marketplaces, and I started off selling music actually, stock music, royalty-free music on Audio Jungle. I still do, right? You can check out audiojungle.net, right? And if you put in my name, you'll find me there, right? So I started selling audio on Audio Jungle, right? But you can do the same on Code Canyon.
Correct.
And I've actually met a few Malaysian, some of my friends in Penang, KL, who actually create plugins for WordPress and sell it on Code Canyon.
Yeah.
Right? And the beauty of that is you code up a plugin or theme, and basically that theme or plugin is sold over and over and over
again. You
again.
basically do the job once. Of course, you have to update from time to time, but once you set it up and people are aware of your plugins, right? You look at some of the WordPress plugins, you got 200,000 downloads, right? Of course, there are some we have millions downloads, but it took them over a couple of years to build that out. But you can find those that are really helpful, that have hundreds over thousands of downloads easily.
Right. So the beauty of that is, while you sell it at a smaller cost, like plugin will cost maybe 20 USD up to maybe 40 or 50 the most.
Yes.
Right? But the beauty of it is you sell it over and over and over again, and to everyone in the whole wide world.
Yep.
Right? So passively.
Now, plugins, right? Yeah, passive income. Plugins is not the only way that you can get passive incomes.
Right.
A lot of people actually they sort of like neglected that you can also sell Google Chrome extensions.
How does that work?
Okay, you download a lot of Google Chrome extensions, like for example, a to-do list to help you to like Pocket or even LastPass, which is a password managers, right?
Right.
So Google Chrome extension usually are written using JavaScript, and you can give them as a free download with limited functions. Limited features, and then you charge them. It's like a in-app purchase, that sort of features.
Actually, a lot of themes, a lot of plugins do that as well. You use a small plugin, but it has a limited function, and then if you want more, you buy the pro version.
Yeah.
So Chrome extensions are made with JavaScript.
Yes.
And JavaScript is also included in Full Stack 360.
Yeah, that's
Full Stack 360 is our course in full stack development. So
now give you another hint, right, Ruben? You remember that we always do a lot of e-commerce, so we deal with payment gateways like IP88, Bill Please, that sort of plugins. Now these payment gateways, right, they usually only support integration with mainstream e-commerce shopping carts like WooCommerce or maybe Shopify, but limited functionalities are basically to help you to process the payment, and that's about it. But if we have a membership systems like our online classroom, and if we were to integrate plugins with that, and we require like tracking, customizations, or even link it with our CRM like MailChimp, right? That sounds like a very huge project and very complicated already, especially for those who do not have a good background of coding. Of course, we solve it ourselves by writing our own codes. So I think if you write programs, a simple plugins like that, right, a lot of people will definitely buy it. I would definitely be the first one to do so.
Right. So I think the key here is to look for a problem that a lot of website owners are facing, and then build an application or a solution for that.
Yeah.
And then putting it out in the market to sell it.
Correct. You're selling the convenience to help people to elevate their pain points, right? Essentially.
Okay, so the fourth way of making money with web development, and that is entering coding contests.
Yeah, that's right.
Coding contests, hackathons. What are your thoughts on entering a coding contest?
Now, entering coding contests, probably we are talking about a way to sustain yourself when you are learning how to code, right? It probably cannot be a full-time job to make a living, but I definitely know somebody who participates in hackathons. Now, it's a good way to make money at their side, and also, especially at this time of the year, right? It's towards the second half of the year. If you join our lead knowledge circle, you know that many people will share news about all sort of hackathons like AT&T, MYDD, Axiata Analytics, and sometimes airline companies like AirAsia, Emirates, they will run their own hackathons. And I remember that our students recently won at the Codathon hackathon, and also we do support some sort of startup challenges like NTT challenges as well. So these are definitely a good venues to, number one, brush up your skills.
Okay.
And number two, you meet like-minded people, because hackathons usually you need to form a group of at least 3 to 5 people. Yeah.
Right.
So you get to know other people who can complement your skill sets as well. So you're not doing it alone. So definitely, I love it. Yeah.
Do you think hackathons is something still very popular these days?
Yes. So when I first came back 2014, I actually actively go to hackathons almost every month until I got sort of banned and promoted to judge. So I think hackathon, yes, definitely is very popular. Now, I like hackathons because within the 24 hours, it actually squeeze and kills a lot of your brain cells. But it definitely force you to think of something that you want to build and make sure that you deliver a product at the end of the 24 hours, because you have to present your idea. Right. Now, a lot of us, including myself, right, when we have an idea, we want to build it as a side project. We know how to initiate a project, but we are very bad at closing the projects, right? So, and now we have a lot of half-baked projects lying in our hard disk, definitely. And yeah, so if we go for competitions like hackathon, it's sort of like the competitiveness will force you to make sure that you have to finish this and you have to present to the judges.
I think going for hackathon is also useful because it opens up a whole world of possibilities, right? You never know what you're going to find out and meet at those hackathons, and it's really a great place to go if you are, beginning as an aspiring web developer as well.
And also help you to validate your ideas.
Okay, so that's number 4. Now the 5th one is to make useful web applications. So if you're a web developer, you will be able to actually build web applications. Now, can you give me an example of a web application or an application that makes money?
So when we talk about applications, right, you have web applications, you have desktop applications, and you have mobile applications. Now, mobile application is, remember when we first have smartphones like iOS and Android, right? People make a lot of money by creating all sort of apps, like any apps that you can think of, a ruler app, a torchlight, a flashlight app, all sort of funny apps, right? But one thing that I remember the most is a local story, is that I have a friend who make this mobile application and makes a lot of money from it. Now, this app is called Malaysia Calendar.
Okay, I've seen this app. Earlier I downloaded the app.
Yeah.
It's called Malaysia Calendar by
Solutions.
Right? So go download it. So what it does is, I don't know if you can see this or not, but basically the app is a calendar. You know this Chinese calendar we have in Malaysia with all the holidays,
and the horse racing
calendars and all that. So this
Yeah.
is basically the digital version of it on an application itself, and it's really, I think it's grown a lot, right, at Bits?
When I first knew Noel, right, he started this, I think when he was 2013, it was 2013 and 2014. And I remember clearly is that his very first version or the MVP is that he, during his work, he chatted with a colleague and they said, hey, why don't we have a calendar with all the Malaysian festivals, and, we need to have the Islamic calendar, we need to have the lunar calendar, and we need to have the calendar with all the public holidays, and we have so many public holidays and the horse racing. So his very first MVP version, actually, he just took the calendar and then he scanned it, right, as a picture, and he started to build it as a mobile application, and that's where he started. Now he makes money from the downloads, in-apps purchase, and of course from the advertisement at the bottom.
Right. So I've not gone through very deep into this app, but I see the in-app purchases is to remove the advertisements, and also there's ads down here. So basically, he makes monetize from the app with advertisements, and also the in-app purchase to remove the ads itself. And
if you go to the menu, right, there are actually a lot of other cool features, like I think to-do list, and then you can write your notes, you have calculators, and also there's a 2048 games somewhere there.
And looking at the Play Store, they have over 500,000 downloads. So imagine the potentials of that. But all this thing comes in from a very, very simple idea, putting our traditional calendar into an application. And you can do that with web development. Right? Your idea does not have to be super vanilla, the next unicorn thing. A simple idea like that helps people, I think, something that I'm really, really fond of.
Yeah, so same here, right? A mobile application actually is something that helps to solve very, very specific problems and only do a single task, but it does the single task very, very well.
So it's Malaysia Calendar by
Solutions.
So go look it up on Google Play Store, you'll find it. It's a really interesting application, and if you know how to build web applications, you can definitely build something just like that. And it's a simple idea, but very interesting one.
Yeah, so mobile application, right? We are using the same architecture as web application. So last but not least, now Ruben, it's my time to ask you a question, right?
Okay.
So have you ever come across any website that you can make a website and also monetize the website?
All right, so this is my favorite. So this is number 6 of how you can make money with web development. Now, when you have web development skills, basically you have a world of possibilities, right?
Yes.
So there are many websites in the world, that are monetizing from the website content itself.
So selling what they call it, information.
Infomercials. So some usual cases, even this kind of sites are done by people who do not do development at all sometimes, right? So there can be a few ways, right? One of them is by putting in content and then monetizing from advertisements. You can put in content and then monetize from memberships. So for example, let's say you teach people how to fish. Maybe you're a very good fisherman, right? And you know how to fish, right? You can build a membership site and charge people like $5 a month to receive your tips in your website.
Okay, I remember Peng Jun does that when he first began his career. He teach people how to play games, right? Selling walkthroughs.
Walkthroughs and all that. So there's so many things, and you may be just surprised about the niche, how deep the niche can go into. I mean, I've seen people, go into a niche of how to train your pet iguana. Right, and people pay like a membership fee, like $5 or $6 a month, or depending on how much you want to charge them.
Yep.
And they get access to the guides, to videos and all that. So that can be done with web development as well.
Yep.
Right. And besides that, of course, you can always monetize with affiliations. For example, you create a content site and you link it out to affiliates. Okay. So for example, you feature maybe 10 of the top phones in Malaysia, and then you affiliate a link out to maybe Lazada or something. Now, I'm doing something like that. You can check it out at ordermentor.com, right? But mine is a niche based on music production, right? So I review music production items, microphones, keyboards, and all that kind of stuff. And I link it back to marketplaces like Amazon. And when people buy something through that link, basically I'm monetizing the site.
I personally believe that this is going to be the features in the future, because like apart from the membership sites that we have been doing, like subscriptions and affiliations, right? I've seen a lot of unboxing videos out there as well. Okay.
So unboxing videos are also interesting. You just basically unbox something in front of the camera, just like this, right? Put it up on YouTube and then put up links on YouTube, and also enhance that by building your own website, a blog or a website, and putting your review or your unboxing there as well. So I think these things are really simple to go through, and they do work. Right, so last advice for our audience today, right? We've gone through 6 ways of making money with web development. Now, how can they start learning web development?
Of course, if you want to learn web development, go to our full stack 360 web development course. So this is an upcoming course that we are going to teach you end to end, from setting up your websites all the way to deploy it to a cloud solutions like Amazon and DigitalOcean as well.
Right, I've just pasted the link here so you can go and check it out. Now, this is a course that covers the A to Z of web development, and we're going to cover languages like
JavaScript, HTML, CSS, and of course Node.js.
Okay, so that's Full Stack 360. Now, if you have questions about what we have just gone through, the 6 ways of monetizing with web development with your skill, and any questions on the links that we just posted out there, Upwork, Freelancer, and if you have missed any links at all, right, just let us know in the comment section, and we just paste them into the comment section. And any last things I'd like to say before we go off for this video?
Now, leave your comments in the comment section. Don't forget to follow us on our Facebook, YouTube channels. And remember, I mentioned about Lead Knowledge Circle. So you can find that in Facebook. So join that, and we'll have a lot more in-depth discussion there. And I'll see you in the next video.
All right, thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next video.
All right. Bye.
Bye.